Welcome back. I'm Linda and this is Ashley, and today our topic is You Failed the NCLEX. Stop hiding.
So just before we get started talking about this topic, just as a reminder, if you have any questions about empowerment nursing, who we are, what it is that we do, you can visit our website at www.n-powermentnursing.com. As well as we invite you to join us on our Facebook page, which is n-powerment NCLEX/CPNRE test prep, where we regularly post practice test questions, blog posts, and these live videos. We are on Instagram live right now for the first time tonight, so that's exciting. Please like and share and subscribe to our live video feed after this video is completed, or down on the left-hand side of the corner for those of you joining us on Facebook. And we love it when you comment and let us know where you're joining us from. It's very exciting for us to see where it is we're reaching. So thank you for joining us tonight. So this evening we're talking about a very serious topic. And what we're talking about, as Linda mentioned, is failing the NCLEX exam and going into hiding. So we've been talking a lot about this as of late, as we're working on an ebook specific to NCLEX failure. And we're working with a lot of individuals who are now coming to our program after having failed the NCLEX multiple times, some 8, 9, etc. times. And a theme that keeps coming up is that a lot of these individuals have gone into hiding. We're going to talk about what hiding means. But before we do that, we want to read to you an excerpt for a piece of work that we're currently working on. So this is titled, I Failed the NCLEX and I Am Hiding. I don't go outside anymore. I stay up all night and sleep in as late as possible. This is the best strategy for avoiding those questions. Do you have a nursing job yet? How do you like being out of school? What are you up to? None of your business. I wish I lived in a big city where I could blend into the background and disappear with my anonymity, where I had no friends, no family, and no ties. I want to board up my windows and barricade the doors. Leave me alone in my dungeon of unworthiness. You're not welcome here.
And so how do we hide? How do people hide after they fail the exam? Well, the first way is the way that Ashley just described, is we check out. We don't go outside. We stay inside. We socially disengage and withdraw. So this is one way. We just avoid high-risk situations where we might feel really uncomfortable. Another way that we hide is we sleep. We start going to bed really late and we start sleeping in even later. We lose the kind of day-to-day rhythm of other people around us, and we crawl into bed, we pull the covers up over our head, we fall asleep. And this is a way also that we hide. We think that we deserve to sleep in, to stay up late, and so we hide in our beds. Another way is that we get a full-time job. And this job is often not in any way related to nursing. So we put these hours of work in front of our goal. And this is a very legitimate excuse to not study, is a full-time job. To go along with that full-time job is we fill our closets with purchases. If we have a garage, we put things in it. So we spend, because spending money makes us feel better. And then we get ourselves into debt, even more debt than our school loans, which then creates this need to have a full-time job. Again, another barrier that we put up in front of us to stop studying. Maybe we have written the exam and we failed. So we start telling untruths about our exam experiences. If we don't tell people the truth about our failure, then we don't have to face the questions that come about what are we doing now. So this is another way that we hide. And finally, we decide not to even write the exam. Mm-hmm. So we finish our nursing education and we don't even put ourselves out there because we don't want to fail. So we don't write. And we just kind of withdraw. So these are barriers that we legitimize and we put in front of us that stop us from meeting our goal, and all are different kinds of methods of hiding.
And Linda and I don't make stuff up, right? So all of these examples that Linda's going through are actual graduate experiences that are now connected with us personally through Empowerment Nursing. So, you know, people who haven't written or who now have full-time jobs, all of these examples are real people. We speak to our experience with real nursing graduates going through this. So hiding is a protective mechanism that basically a lot of people have failed the NCLEX or are not writing the NCLEX. They use this to avoid the feelings of shame that take over them when they're unsuccessful. And it is protective in that it kind of shields us, as Linda spoke to a little bit, from the questions. Like if you're not going out with people, you're not having people ask you, you know, did you get that job at the hospital that you wanted? Or how's nursing going? How do you like being out of school? So in going into hiding in all of these different ways that Linda talks about, we avoid that questioning, which helps us avoid the shame. The issue is, though, as protective as it may seem, is that hiding is very maladaptive. It is a very, very negative coping mechanism for dealing with the shame that you go through after failing this exam.
And so how do we solve this? How do we come out of hiding? Well, the big answer to that question is you need to be vulnerable. And what we mean by being vulnerable is opening yourself up and being unguarded. Because you can't look at these very legitimate barriers that you have put up in front of you unless you can be self-reflective and become aware, because they all seem very legitimate. So how do you unpack all of these things that you've put in front of you? How do you find ways to get rid of some of the things that you've gone into debt for? How do you change your clock and your rhythm and get out of bed and change the way that you're living? Mm-hmm. None of this can be achieved without self-awareness. The barriers are going to stay there until you can unpack them and get underneath what really is happening with you. And this is what needs to happen.
You need to admit the fact that you've gone into hiding, right? So that's an important first step. So if you're out there in Instagram world and Facebook world, if you're out there and you're watching this right now and you've failed the NCLEX, whether it's 1 time, whether it's 20 times, and you've gone into hiding, you need to come out of hiding. We are reaching out our hand to you into that hole and we are dragging you out. You need to come out of hiding, because this is a very temporary shelter. You need to come out of this temporary shelter and you need to weather this storm. And this is what we specialize in. This is what inspired Empowerment Nursing to begin, was the story of people who failed, who gave up their place in this profession, who decided to get full-time jobs, who decided to withdraw from society, who have been graduated for 5 years and still don't have the title of being a nurse. This is what we specialize in. This is what we do. We help people just like you. We've helped hundreds of people. Not 100, hundreds of people just like you that have failed over and sometimes over and sometimes over and over and over again. We are the only program available that addresses emotional readiness, that coaches you back from failure, that brings you out of hiding, and gives you not only the content that you need to be successful, but also all of the things that you need to feel about yourself to be successful.
We're here to help you. We specialize in this work. Helen Keller said some time ago that walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. And we really believe that. We're here for you.
Join us.
Don't give up.